None of your New Year's resolutions will be successful without discipline. But I don't have to tell you that. I don't have to tell anybody that because it's supposed to be common sense. But then how come we're always so fixated on the outcome and not necessarily the how, the execution behind the goal, the thing that I think is actually really important where discipline resides? Albert Einstein has this quote that reads, "The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result." I felt insane in my junior year of high school because my school would require me to create these New Year's resolutions and I would have them in the same notebook. So I would flip back to the previous years and realize, wow, I'm making the exact same New Year's resolutions, and time again I fail when the motivation dwindles and I'm not becoming the man that I had sought after, right? I wanted to be better, but I was staying the same, and that is incredibly frustrating. So in this video, we're going to be talking about just that, the execution. How do you build discipline in a manner that is sustainable, that is perhaps fun even, that you can get joy out of while still being somebody that can realize all of their potential? I mean that, all of your potential, not just in January, not just in February, but all throughout 2025 and hopefully a lifetime. My name is Jun Yu. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. If you can take 10 seconds right now to comment one New Year's resolutions that you're carrying into 2025, because at the end of this video, I will be providing you an actionable framework that you can literally put that goal into, and you'll realize, wow, this is the roadmap for me to have success in this domain, and you can do this with your other goals as well. I really do believe that what I'm about to teach you isn't necessarily talked about much elsewhere, so I hope that this can be valuable. Give this video a thumbs up, and of course, subscribe. With that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Let's first start with an analogy. If you were to look at a traditional sailboat and the base of it, you would realize that they are a bunch of wooden panels that are plastered together, and the structural integrity allows that boat to remain afloat even in the midst of storms and keep the passengers safe. And even if one of those panels were to have a defect in its design, then that would mean that it's susceptible to a leak, and especially in a storm, that boat is likely to fail. That boat is likely to sink. And even the tiniest bit of that fragmentation can lead to such a large consequence. And this is how I really do envision myself. Myself is the boat. And I realize that the life that we're living in is very unexpected. There's sickness in our families. There are really bad days emotionally. There's failed exams, failed business pursuits. There's struggles with our relationships with our family and friends. And I want to be somebody that can sustain my level of happiness or contentment or fulfillment and live a steadfast life through it all. I want to feel confident that no matter what life throws in my way, even if it's success, that I can actually ride that success and not get too full of myself. And when things go right, that I can ensure I'll be good. That is what I think everyone should build for themselves. It's the ability to have that sense of self-confidence in the midst of the storm. And I want you to be somebody that can embrace those difficult moments, because I promise you they're coming, and still be able to be yourself and still be able to shine the way that you do shine. That is what I truly believe holistic discipline will allow you to do. And the opposite of this is what we frequently see online in terms of what is described to be discipline. Either you get this really extreme sense of discipline that it's this daily ice baths, 17-hour work days that you could never use your phone. And then on the other side, you see a very single-faceted approach to discipline, right? So if somebody is a fitness creator, then they will be disciplined in the gym. Or if you see somebody that is an academically successful individual, that they're disciplined in the classroom. If there's somebody that is of faith, if they are a godly person, that they're disciplined on Sundays. But what good does it do if Monday through Saturday, their actions in terms of how they treat their work, in terms of how they treat their body, in terms of how they treat their emotional well-being falters, right? And doesn't reflect their quote unquote faith. Or in the case of that fitness creator, if they are strong physically, but they're weak mentally, if they're weak emotionally, if they're not pursuing an intellectual advancement, if they're stagnant in their growth, then what good does that do? If a business successful individual tells you that they're disciplined with their money, but then they fail to be healthy. Like, what good does that do? And that's what I really do mean about having holistic discipline. How can you be somebody that is multifaceted? And how can you be somebody that isn't extreme, right? That is sustainable, that is steadfast, because the discipline that you build in 75 days isn't discipline that's going to go away on the 76th day, right? I'm seriously telling you right now that you need to have discipline that is both feasible and sustainable alongside discipline that is multifaceted, that covers all the bases. And that is what I'll introduce to you right now. It's my 4-win model. It's the framework that, as I traveled across the world this year, in Tokyo, in Korea, in London, in LA, that this is the thing that somebody would come up to me and talk to me about, how that has changed their lives. And we're talking about people all across the world, thousands of them, and it's been such an incredible experience to witness that. The 4 wins will completely shift your perspective on goal making and most importantly, the execution behind it. And I really do believe that this is how you build discipline, and this is how you should build it in 2025. And what you also see, that it's a framework in the sense where I'm not going to tell you that you need to be in the gym for an hour and a half. Because if you are 44, it looks very different from if you were 24, right? The responsibilities, your current circumstances look very different. So the expectations should be different. If you were to look at somebody that is a student versus somebody that is 24 or 25 years old and they just recently graduated, your goals are going to look different. And I think it is very, very, very lazy and ignorant to provide somebody these step-by-steps where it's not necessarily applicable to their certain circumstance. It's easier for somebody else to follow, right? So that's not what this is going to be. It's a framework, and you're going to be able to associate your own goals inside of it. So we're first going to start off with your mental win. This is an advancement intellectually, right? So this is creating, this is reading, researching, listening, discussing. It's anything for you to learn a new skill, for you to improve upon your knowledge base, because if you're not improving yourself mentally, then you're always going to be stagnant in your progress in life. And then number 2, this is your physical win. This can be you running, walking, stretching, boxing, playing basketball. It can be anything that moves your body intentionally, because we understand to have the positive impacts of what physical movement will do for us, it needs to be consistent on a daily basis, right? And no, I'm not telling you that you need to do an hour and a half extremely strenuous and intense training. No, I'm talking about how can you show up for yourself and do intentional movements. Anybody can. And if you want to split that up with a walk in the morning and perhaps something else at night, that's totally fine. I just want you to move on a daily basis. And then the third is a spiritual win. And this can be you meditating, scripture reading, praying. It can be you doing gratitude practice. It can be you volunteering. It can be you spending more time with your family. It can be any of those things. It's an ability to take a second to reflect on the things that are important to you and to actually connect to your purpose. And then lastly, you have your accountability win. This is probably the harshest one. This is the one that everyone runs away from. And it's what's actually going to allow you to be consistent across all these 4 parts. It's going to ensure that just like that boat, that you are constantly maintaining it, that you're ensuring that structural integrity is there on a day in and day out basis. And this is very raw, right? This requires time and effort. And a lot of times you can do this through journaling. You can do this through a tracker of some form. I have my own Notion templates that I utilize. You can do this in a community. You can do this with an accountability partner. And you can also supplement this depending on which career you're in. So let's say that you are a student. Maybe you have study groups that you are going to ensure that you're showing up to. Let's say that you are a working professional. Maybe it's weekly meetings with your manager and checking in on your progress, so that if you want to move up the ladder, that you have the feedback in order to do that. Whether it's you being an entrepreneur and perhaps you're meeting with your business partners and speaking on that relation, or maybe you're talking to another entrepreneur, or there are certain monetary fiscal goals that you have for the business, but you're being held accountable for by even your accountant. Like maybe there's something that you supplement this self-accountability with that allows you to be more fitting of your current situation and current career. But those are the 4 frameworks. And then this question comes up with how much time should I spend on it? And I've thought about this for a very long period of time. So this is going to ensure the first part about the 4 wins, the 4 categories, that's the multifaceted approach. That's going to ensure holistic discipline. And then the other part is how can we ensure that this is feasible, that this is actually sustainable, that even on the worst of days that you're not sitting there thinking, yeah, I just can't do this, screw this, scratch this, I'm not going to do it at all. And then the next day realizing that mental chaos is ensuing. This happens a lot, right? When you set an expectation and you don't meet it, mental chaos occurs in the sense where you think, oh my goodness, I should have done that, and you feel anxious and you feel guilty. And it's not like just the next day you can restart and forget about it. Often you feel this heavy sense of guilt that carries with you. That's not what I want. I want to create the baseline, the expectations so feasibly, so that even on the worst of days that you can still accomplish it, and on your best days that you can do more if you like to. And this is where the times are associated in terms of the minimums. And I will ask you this, how much time would you be willing to invest to ensure that you can be that steadfast individual, that you can be overly confident in even the harshest moments of life, that you feel good, that you can radiate positivity, that you can be somebody that can have a good perspective on that situation? How much time would you be willing to invest into that? And that's probably a ton of time, right? But I'm telling you that 90 minutes is all you need as a base minimum. If you think you can't do 90 minutes, listen to my mentor that always says that you should take your screen time and subtract it by 90 and you'll be fine, right? And I really do think that that's important to consider. 90 minutes to show up for yourself. I don't mean 90 minutes to show up for your boss, because I know you can easily do that. I don't mean 90 minutes in which you're showing up for your teacher, because I know you easily do that. I mean 90 minutes that you show up for yourself, right? And that's all you need. You should be able to do that. So it's gonna be a 15-minute mental win. It's gonna be a 45-minute physical win that can be broken up throughout the day, 15-minute spiritual win, and 15-minute honest accountability win. If you can show up in those 4 ways on a consistent basis, because it is feasible enough for you to do it, this is the sustainable success formula. This is how you can be the type of individual that actually realizes their potential. This is how you don't just have a good January, but you have a good June, July, August, all the way through December. This is how you make 2025 your best year. And now you can take that goal that you've commented and associate that with one of the 4 categories. And maybe you've told me, you know what, I want to be a straight A student in the year of 2025. I would say great, and that's your overarching mental win. And then on a daily actionable win standpoint, then you would think about habits that are going to lead you to that. So maybe it's simply studying, maybe it's you researching evidence-based techniques, maybe it's working on your learning system, and that's great. If you told me that, hey June, I want to gain 15 pounds of muscle in the year of 2025, I would say great. That's your overarching physical goal. Now it's up to us to break it down into daily habits. Are you going to the gym consistently? Are you watching what you eat? Like, these are what you can categorize then as your daily wins across the 4 categories. And then you can do that across all of the 4 phases. So you know for a fact that you're somebody that can have the type of success that you're looking for. I wish you nothing but the best. I want to see you win. That's all I want to see, in fact. I love being able to travel, seeing you guys in person, and seeing that this 4-win model has transformed your life the way that it's transformed mine. Do not be the type of individual that is going to be like the rest and in March give up on everything. Be the person that can sustain their success. And now I've taught you how. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, and of course, subscribe. With that being said, I will see you next time. Please take care of yourselves, and I hope that you enjoyed your holidays. I love you guys so much. I will see you all at the top.